Rachel's phone lay on the table, the call with Anna still echoing in her ears. "Meet me in Rexburg. Tomorrow night. Bring no one." Her gut screamed that this was reckless, maybe even suicidal. But her instincts as an investigative journalist whispered louder. This was the kind of lead that could crack the Daybell case wide open, or destroy her in the process. Outside her apartment, that idling car was still parked, headlights dark. Rachel pulled the blinds shut. Whoever wanted the red notebook wasn't just watching. They were already close. Rexburg, Idaho. Once a sleepy town known mostly for its Mormon community and snow-capped views, it was now infamous. Mention Rexburg, and people didn't think of quiet neighborhoods. They thought of graves, cults, and the smiling mugshots of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. When Rachel arrived the next evening, the town seemed deceptively ordinary. Families strolled Main Street. College kids from BYU, Idaho sipped lattes in cafes. But beneath the small-town charm, Rachel felt the weight of unspeakable history pressing down. She parked near Porter Park, as Anna had instructed, the Ferris wheel from the county fair visible in the distance. She checked her phone, no new calls. Just one text from Anna. "Bench by the fountain. Midnight." At 11:59 p.m., Rachel sat on the cold metal bench, trying to steady her breath. She scanned every passing shadow, every pair of footsteps. At 12:06, Anna appeared. She looked younger than Rachel expected. Late 20s maybe, with sunken eyes and a jittery, haunted energy. Her hoodie was pulled low over her face, and her voice trembled as she spoke. "You don't know me," Anna said. "But I knew Chad. Before all of it." Rachel pressed gently. "You said you know about the red notebook." Anna's gaze darted around, checking every angle. Then she leaned close. "I saw him bury it. Years ago. He said it wasn't for the police or the courts or even his family. He said it was for the chosen ones after the world ended." Rachel's pulse quickened. "Where?" Anna's answer made her blood run cold. "Behind the Daybell house. But not in the yard. Out in the fields." Anna described how, one night in 2018, Chad called a small group of his followers together. They believed the apocalypse was near, that only the 144,000 chosen would survive. He carried a small red book, leather-bound, and told them it contained prophecies given directly by God. But then, strangely, he said the book had to be hidden until the appointed time. He led them into the fields beyond his house, shovel in hand, and buried it beneath a weathered fence post. "He told us no one, not even Lori, should touch it until the day came," Anna whispered. "But when the kids went missing, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I thought, maybe that book explains why." Rachel's mind raced. Could it still be there? Had investigators missed it? But Anna wasn't finished. She pulled a folded piece of paper from her pocket. On it was a rough hand-drawn map. "I can't go back there," Anna said. "I've tried to leave this all behind. But you, maybe you can show the world what he was hiding." Rachel took the map. But before she could ask another question, Anna stiffened. Headlights swept across the park. A black SUV rolled slowly down the path, far too close for coincidence. Anna bolted from the bench. "Don't follow me," she hissed, vanishing into the night. Rachel froze, clutching the map. The SUV idled for a moment, then drove off. But something told her this was no random passerby. Someone else knew about the notebook. The next morning, national headlines erupted again. People.com published an exclusive. Daybell death row letters spark hunt for hidden prophecies. Cable news debated the implications. Was Chad orchestrating a second wave of manipulation from prison, trying to keep his cult alive? Or had authorities failed to secure key evidence? Meanwhile, TikTok videos dissected Anna's claim. One clip with over 2 million views asked, if the red notebook exists, could it predict more deaths? What if Chad wasn't finished? The frenzy grew so loud that Rachel's editor warned her to step carefully. If you're chasing ghosts, fine. But if you're chasing something real, you might not be the only one. That night, Rachel spread Anna's map across her motel desk. The crude lines pointed toward an isolated section of land just beyond the Daybell property. Fence post, hollow, buried secrets. But as she studied it, her phone buzzed. New message. No name, no number. Stop looking, or you'll end up like them. Her stomach dropped. Did they mean JJ and Tylee? Or was there someone else whose body had never been found? Rachel looked back at the map, the weight of the threat pressing down. She knew two things with absolute certainty. The notebook was real, and someone was willing to kill to keep it buried. Stay tuned for part 4, where Rachel risks everything to dig for the notebook, and uncovers something far more terrifying than she expected. The motel room felt colder than the Idaho night outside. Rachel's hands shook as she held the phone, staring at the message. End up like them. JJ and Tylee's faces flashed in her mind. Innocent lives lost. Buried on Chad Daybell's property for months before anyone found them. Was the sender warning her, or promising her the same fate? Still, Rachel couldn't turn back. She unfolded Anna's map again, the faint pencil lines now glowing in her mind like a beacon. She knew what she had to do. Go to the field. The Daybell property in Salem, just outside Rexburg, had become a grim landmark since the discovery of the children's remains. Locals avoided the road leading past it. Tourists drove by in morbid curiosity. But for Rachel, it was now the key to uncovering Chad's last hidden secret. The map marked a stretch of farmland bordering the property. Old fencing, sparse trees, a hollow in the earth where Chad allegedly buried the notebook. Rachel prepared like a thief in the night. Gloves, flashlight, small shovel. She parked far enough away that her rental car wouldn't raise suspicion. Midnight again, the time when most of Rexburg slept. As she walked through the fields, the air bit with early winter frost. Each step felt like trespassing, though technically the area she entered wasn't fenced. The silence pressed in. Only the crunch of dry grass beneath her boots reminded her she was still alive. The map's crude sketch matched the land eerily well. After 20 minutes, she found the fence line Anna described. Weathered wood posts, some leaning strands of rusted barbed wire sagging between them. Rachel's beam of light swept over the ground. Then she saw it, a single post that seemed different. The dirt around its base looked disturbed, not naturally eroded like the others. Her pulse surged. This is it. She knelt, scraping the soil with her gloved hands before using the shovel. The earth gave way faster than she expected, as though it had been dug and refilled once before. 5 inches down, the shovel struck something hard. Rachel's breath caught. She cleared the soil with frantic hands until a small leather-bound object emerged. A red notebook, dirt-stained but intact. Her heart thundered. She wiped the cover clean. Faded gold letters spelled out, "The Final Testament." Her throat went dry. This wasn't just a journal. It was a declaration. She flipped it open. The handwriting was unmistakably Chad's. Flowing, theatrical, every line written as if scripture. The first page read, "These are the revelations granted to me, Chad Daybell, seer and prophet of the end of times, to be revealed only to the chosen, lest the unbelievers condemn me before my work is done. Rachel's hands trembled as she turned the pages. Prophecies. Claims that certain people were dark spirits, others light warriors. Mentions of fire, famine, and purges. And then something worse. Those who oppose the work will perish. The children were but the beginning. More must fall before Zion is established. Rachel's stomach churned. The children were but the beginning. Her hands froze on that line. Did Chad confess in his own words that JJ and Tylee's deaths were part of his prophecy? And what did he mean, more must fall? Before she could process, a noise snapped her head up. A step. Rachel killed her flashlight, plunging into darkness. She crouched low, clutching the notebook. The footsteps grew closer. Steady, deliberate, too heavy for an animal. Her breath caught in her throat. Someone else was here. A figure emerged from the shadows, illuminated faintly by moonlight. Tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a dark jacket. Man. Drop it, he said, his voice low and sharp. Rachel froze. Who are you? Doesn't matter. That book isn't yours. Her grip tightened on the notebook. It's evidence. The world deserves to see it. The man took a step closer. Rachel's heart pounded. She had no weapon, no backup. Then, suddenly, headlights flared in the distance. Car bouncing down the dirt track toward them. The man cursed under his breath, glancing back. Rachel seized the moment. She bolted, clutching the notebook to her chest, sprinting toward the light. The vehicle screeched to a stop. A battered pickup truck. The door swung open. Anna's face appeared, panic-stricken. "Get in!" she shouted. Rachel dove inside as the man lunged forward. But Anna floored the gas, the truck fishtailing on the dirt before speeding away. Rachel's lungs burned as she clutched the notebook tighter. How did you know I'd be there?" Anna's hands gripped the wheel. "Because I knew they'd follow you. They always do." The following morning, Rachel uploaded images of the notebook's first pages to her encrypted drive. Within hours, whispers of its existence hit the internet. Podcasts speculated about the Daybell Testament. True crime TikTok accounts exploded with theories. Was this proof of premeditation? Were there other victims, unnamed, still missing? Could Chad's writings inspire new followers even while he sat on death row? Cable news anchors framed it as part of a disturbing trend. Cult leaders using prison as a pulpit. They compared Chad's letters to current cases where extremist figures spread ideology online, blending true crime with radicalization. The frenzy made one thing clear. The notebook wasn't just historical. It was a live weapon of influence. That night, Rachel sat alone in her motel room, the notebook lying on the bedspread like a curse. She had only skimmed it, afraid to dive deeper. But she couldn't stop now. As she turned another page, her blood ran cold. There, in Chad's looping handwriting, was a list of names. Beside each, a chilling mark, light or dark. She scanned the list, her pulse quickening, until she saw the last entry. Rachel Carter, dark. Her breath caught. The prophet of death row had named her. Somewhere in the dark Idaho night, Chad's unseen followers might already be hunting her. Stay tuned for part 5, where Rachel risks going public with a notebook, but discovers that exposing the truth might paint a target even bigger on her back.